This is the Anna Gale Lines Podcast, where we equip you with the tools and insights to take charge of your life and thrive. And here is your host, life coach and author, Anna Gale Lines.
Welcome to the Anna Gale Lines Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Gale Lines. In a world filled with constant change and challenges, one thing remains a steadfast compass guiding us through life's journey: integrity. Today, we're diving into a topic that is at the heart of living a meaningful and fulfilling life: integrity. Integrity isn't just about being honest. It's about aligning our actions with our values, staying true to ourselves, and building trust with those around us. In this episode, we'll explore what it means to live with integrity, offer practical tips on how you can cultivate integrity in your life. So if you're ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. What are some reasons to cultivate integrity? One, it builds trust. Integrity fosters trust with others, making personal and professional relationships stronger and more reliable. What does that mean? It means that the people in your life can trust you. It means that they know that you are going to come through for them each and every time. They know that if they ask you to do something, they ask you for a favor, and you say yes, you're going to come through. And you're going to come through on time, and you're going to do exactly what they need. And they can trust you. They know that you're consistent, they know you're reliable, and they know that they don't have to worry about you not coming through for them. And they also know if they're in a relationship with you, like a marital relationship, they know that you're not going to cheat on them. Your children know that they can trust you, that if you say you're going to take them to Disneyland, you are going to take them to Disneyland, unless there's an emergency. But people can trust you. And that leads us to the second point, which is that enhances your reputation. So people with integrity are respected and admired, leading to a positive reputation that opens doors and creates opportunities. As a business owner, would you rather promote the person who calls out all the time, who's late all the time, who misses deadlines, or would you rather promote the person or give more responsibility to the person who is consistently there on time, is always there, and they don't take time off a lot? They never miss a deadline. They always do the work to your satisfaction. Wouldn't you rather hire the second person instead of the first person? Because they have a reputation that they can be trusted. They have a reputation for being consistent and reliable, and the first person doesn't. And then it promotes authenticity. Living with integrity means being true to yourself, which encourages authenticity and self-respect. It means that we are us. We live our lives with integrity. We live our lives doing what is right. We do what is right even when other people are not looking. We don't take shortcuts. We do what is expected of us. We do it to the best of our ability when we say yes to things. And it promotes an authenticity. We're not trying to be somebody we're not. We're not saying that we know how to code when we don't and are fumbling through it. We don't say that we know how to do something when we actually don't know how to do it. We don't say that we are going to take on a project and then come up with excuses for why we couldn't do it. When we are living an integritous life, we can be trusted. We are reliable. We're consistent. And that reduces stress. When we consistently act with integrity, there's no need to worry about being caught in lies or deceit. So that reduces our anxiety and our stress. We're not trying to figure out what lie we told to which person. We aren't trying to cover our tracks for things that we did. We are living with integrity, and we are authentic, and we are consistent. And we know what's needed of us, and we know how to react because we're always being consistent and reliable. And it improves our decision-making abilities. Integrity provides a clear moral compass, helping us to make decisions that align with our values and principles. So when you're with a corporation, they have certain values and they have certain principles that the business is based on. And that's the way your life should be too. You should have certain values and principles that are deal breakers for you. So if that job offer doesn't align with your values and principles, if it doesn't align with your goals and the way that you want to conduct your life, then you know you're going to say no to it. I don't care how much money is involved with it. If it doesn't align with your values and principles, then in the long run, it's going to cause you more problems. So you have to ask yourself, is the money worth that? Is the money worth giving up your value and principles and integrity? And then it encourages responsibility, because taking responsibility for your actions, even when it's difficult, demonstrates maturity and accountability. I've said many times that you are responsible for your own life. You're responsible for what happens to you. You're not responsible for what other people do to you, but you're responsible with how you react and what you're going to do with that pain and what you're going to do with that information. We have to take responsibility when we're wrong. We have to say that we're sorry, and we have to make amends, because that is a sign of being mature. It's a sign of being integritous. It also strengthens our character. It helps us build strong moral character, which contributes to our personal development and resilience. It helps us inspire others. Acting with integrity sets a positive example, inspiring others to behave similarly and creating a ripple effect of ethical behavior. So if you're in a position of management, if you're in a position of being a parent, other people are watching you. They're looking up to you to see what you're going to do. Are you going to act in a way that is devious? Are you going to take shortcuts? Or are you going to be honest? Are you going to be full of integrity? Are you going to do the right thing even when nobody is watching? One of the famous phrases these days is, nobody's going to know. But the thing is that you know. And that the act of taking shortcuts, the act of lying, the act of doing things that are not integritous is going to have a ripple effect. And people can sense when you're not being authentic. They can sense when you're not being honest. And it's going to come back to bite you. So it's easier just to act with integrity in the first place than to have to backtrack and to face up to the lies that you got caught in, or to face up to the results of the shortcuts you took. We have to be an example to other people, because other people are watching you, even if it's just your coworkers, or even if it's just your spouse, or the people in your church. People are watching you, and they want to see what you're going to do and if they can trust you. And it sets us up for long-term success. So integrity leads to sustainable success because it builds a foundation of trust, respect, and reliability. People know that they can rely on you. They know you're consistent. And it fosters inner peace. Knowing that you act according to your principles brings a sense of peace and fulfillment, enhancing overall well-being. So what are some characteristics commonly associated with integrity? One is honesty. Always telling the truth, being transparent in your actions and your communications. You're not hiding things. You're not acting one way and then having another persona later. So you're not having a work persona, and this is the way you act at work, and then having a home persona where this is where you let down your hair and you act like your authentic self. We have to be acting with integrity. We have to be acting the same way, whether we're at work or whether we're at school or whether we're at home. We have to be the same person consistently across the board. We have to be honest. We have to be transparent in our actions. We have to not hide things from others. There's a time and place to keep things silent, but there's also a time and place specifically with like a marital situation. If you went out to eat with your ex and you didn't tell your spouse, that's leaving information out. Because once your spouse finds out about it, then they're going to wonder why they couldn't be trusted with that information. It's going to break down the relationship. So we have to be honest, and we have to act with integrity in every situation. We have to act the same at home as we do at work. And then that brings up the next point, which is trustworthiness. We need to be reliable and dependable, earning the confidence of others. Like we talked about before, which person would you rather hire? Somebody who is consistent and is always at work and is there on time, or the person who's calling out all the time and making excuses for why they didn't meet their deadlines? We have to be trustworthy, because that's how we build a reputation, especially if you're like building a business. You want to make sure that you're honest and trustworthy so people will refer others to you. And then we need to act from a place of accountability. Take a responsibility for our actions, our decisions, and their consequences. We're not trying to get out of the consequences. We're facing the music when we do something wrong, when something didn't go the way we planned, and we're facing the consequences. We're not trying to get out of the consequences. We're facing them, because a sign of maturity is not running from your problems, but confronting them head on. And then we need to be consistent. We need to maintain the same moral principles and behaviors in various situations. We have to make sure that we're not allowing emotions to get the better of us. We're not reacting to other people's garbage and their drama. We are staying consistent within ourselves. We're not becoming emotional. We are acting with the same decision-making principles every time. And we have to have moral courage. We have to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult or unpopular. We cannot be going according to the crowd and what the majority wants. We have to do what is right. We have to stand up for what is right. We have to stand up for our customers. We have to stand up for our children. We have to stand up for our spouse. We have to stand up for those who have no voice. And we have to act with humility, because recognizing our own limitations and being open to feedback and improvement helps us. And it makes us look like better human beings. Because we all know that narcissist. We all know that person who thinks that they're God's gift to the world, and they never admit when they make a mistake. They never admit that they're in the wrong, and they don't take feedback well. But we don't want to be that person. We want to recognize our limitations, be open to feedback, and be open to doing better. And we need to be respectful, treating people with dignity and consideration, to value their perspectives and their rights. We need to treat the custodian as well as we would treat the CEO. And we need to treat our fellow coworkers and our spouses and our children with integrity. We need to respect them, respect their opinions, respect their perspective, respect what they're thinking and what they're going through, because we don't know what they're going through. We only see the persona that they show to us. We don't see what's behind the scenes. And they could be going through a sickness. Their husband or spouse could be going through a sickness. Their children could be going through a sickness. They could have just lost a parent, or they just had a miscarriage, or they got fired from their job. We don't see that. We don't know that because they're keeping that private. But we need to treat them with respect. We need to value who they are. And then we need to treat people with fairness. We need to act impartially and justly, ensuring that everyone is treated equally and without bias. That means that we treat everyone the same. We don't play favorites, and we make sure that the way we are treating this coworker is the way we're treating that coworker. Yes, there are going to be ones that you like more than others. There are going to be ones that you're closer to than others. But make sure that you're treating everybody fairly and with respect. And you need to be loyal, being faithful to your commitments and supportive of those you depend on. So we need to be loyal. When we say we're going to do something, we need to be doing it. We need to be loyal to our company, loyal to our spouse. We need to be loyal to our vision. We need to be loyal to the principles and values that we have set forth. And we need to exercise self-control, self-discipline over our actions and our desires. We need to stay true to ethical standards and long-term goals. Because a lot of times we will get that shiny object syndrome, and instead of focusing on our goals and focusing on our values and our principles, we see this shiny thing over here and we go over here and we go down this rabbit hole, and it's years before we get back to what we were doing. But we need to stay focused on that path that's going to get you to your goal. Stay focused on your values and your principles, and make sure that they are being a compass in your life. They are your North Star. And what are some ways to cultivate integrity? One is by being honest. Always tell the truth, even when it's difficult. Does that mean that we need to be brutally honest with people? No. What that means is that even though we are telling the truth, we are going to do it tactfully and respectfully. Like, you have to tell a patient that the medication that they are on is going to cost them $141. And it was only $10 the last time. You have to tactfully tell them that. Sorry, unfortunately, the insurance company is coming back with a price of $141. It could be due to your deductible. It could be a coverage gap. But that's the price they're coming back with. You might want to call your insurance company to see what's going on. But we need to be tactful and respectful. We need to empathize with people when we're telling them bad news. I understand this is frustrating. I understand what you must be going through at this moment. And this is what's going on. Let me be honest with you. Let me tell you what's going on. But let's work to fix it. Let's figure out our options and figure out how we together are going to fix this. When you're honest with somebody and you tell them the truth, but you come beside them and try to help them find a solution, then the honesty feels like you are being more of a friend and you're being more helpful than if you had just brutally told them the truth. And we need to keep our promises. So we need to follow through on our commitments and our promises. So if we say we are going to be someplace, we need to be there. If we say that we're going to take care of this project, we need to take care of that project. We need to make sure that we are saying yes to those things that we can come through on and saying no to those things that we don't think we can do. We need to underpromise and overdeliver. We need to make sure that we are not promising more than we can handle, that more than we can deliver. Because people, if you break a promise to somebody, they're going to remember that. And the next time you make them a promise, they're not going to believe you because they believe it's like crying wolf. You said you were going to do it and you didn't do it, and now I don't believe you. So we need to be honest. We need to keep our promises, and we need to take responsibility. We need to own up to our mistakes and learn from them. We need to take the feedback from others, incorporate it into our lives, and do better. The problem is that people take feedback as an insult, criticism. They're offended. And when all you have to do is take that feedback, take what resonates, and incorporate that feedback into your project or your life or whatever, so that your project and your life get better with time. But if we don't take responsibility, we don't take the feedback, and we just continue our lives, we're going to get stuck. And we're not going to be anywhere in life. And we're going to blink and we're going to be 90 years old and looking back on our lives and we've never accomplished anything. So we need to take responsibility. We need to be 100% responsible for our lives. You may have been abused. You may have dealt with a narcissist. You may have had a bad boss. You may have grown up in foster care. But don't let those things define you. Decide who you want to be. Decide what values and principles you're going to live by. And work towards your goals. Do better in life than your parents. Do better in life than those people who didn't say you can make it. Do better than your circumstances growing up. Make sure that you give your life significance, that you pull yourself up by the bootstrings and do better. We need to all live a life of significance. We need to all have a goal that we are pursuing. We need to have a vision of what we want our lives to look like. Otherwise, we're going to stay stuck and we're going to live the same life over and over and over again. This year is going to be the same as next year, and the next year is going to be the same as 10 years from now. And we don't want that. I don't want that for you. I want you to live a life of significance. And we need to practice transparency. We need to be open and clear about our intentions and our actions. We need to align our actions with our values. We need to ensure our behaviors reflect our core values. Like I said before, if the decision does not line up with your core values and your principles and your vision, you need to say no. You are not staying aligned to your purpose and your goals and your principles. You're doing something else. And in the long run, that is compromising who and what you want to be. And it's going to be a while before you get back on track. So if you just make the decision to stay in line with your values and your principles and your goals now, then you won't have to backtrack. We need to show respect and be fair with everybody. But we also need to listen actively. We need to pay attention to others and consider their perspectives. So instead of always telling your coworkers and your spouse how your day was and what's going on in your life, have you ever thought about asking them how their life is? How are you today? And actually listen. Listen to their vacation. Listen to their problems. Listen to what's going on in their lives. And make sure that you are a sounding board for them, because that's going to lead to them trusting you. They're going to trust you more if you take an interest in them. You ask them questions about them. You need to make them feel like they are the most important thing at that moment, the most important thing in the world to you at that moment, and that you're not playing on your phone, you're not playing on your tablet, you're not thinking about other things, you're thinking about what they're saying. Because that's how we build connection. That's how we build friendship. We need to live in integrity. Living with integrity transforms our lives and the lives of those around us. It's the cornerstone of trust, respect, and true happiness. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope that you feel inspired to embrace integrity in every aspect of your life. Remember, every small action rooted in integrity contributes to a more honest and compassionate world, and it starts with you. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. And we also have a newsletter where you get weekly mindset tips. So sign up for that at my website, and that's AnnagailLynes.com. AnnagailLynes.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with living a life of integrity, so leave a comment below. And also tell us what challenges you are facing around mindset in the comments below. So stay tuned, stay kind, and live with integrity.